Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Timberlane Regional High School Athletic Program Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. For those that don't know me, my name is Dan Woodworth, and I am one of the assistant principals at the high school, a current coach and former athlete for the Timberlane Athletics. It is a great honor to again be in the position to welcome a new class of athletes and one tremendous coach to the Hall of Fame this year. The athletics programs at Timberlane have a great history of success, accumulating 60 state titles since the first state championship in 1971. The most recent championship was won just last fall by the girls soccer program, their first in their history. The head coach of that program was one of two coaches here tonight that won their respective Coach of the Year awards during the 23-24 school year. Please join me in congratulating both Jeff Bowman for girls soccer and Tim Brown for wrestling for the respective Coach of the Year honors. Tonight, we'll get to take the time to celebrate four former athletes that inspired us with their performances on the track, football field, swimming pool, wrestling mat, and cross-country course, as well as a coach who helped cement the field hockey program's place in our school's history. The group of individuals combined for 19 individual Class L Division I or All-State Championships, 11 team Division or All-State Championships, and 4 team New England Championships. There are 4 different All-New England performances in this group, as well as a pair of high school All-Americans. Tonight will surely be another special night in the history of Timberlane athletics. Before we begin, however, I want to thank a number of people in attendance for being here tonight to welcome the class of 2024 Hall of Fame, including Athletic Director Angela Fantasia and High School Principal John Vaccarezza. Additionally, we'd like to celebrate the following members of the TRHS Athletic Hall of Fame that are in attendance tonight. We ask to please stand up as you're introduced to be recognized. 1977 graduate and Hall of Fame athlete Barry Chulgin. 1977 graduate and Hall of Fame athlete Robert Lang, Jr. Former high school principal and Hall of Fame coach Donald Woodworth. And 2005 graduates and members of the Hall of Fame inducted 2005 wrestling team Rob Flinn, Tim Brown, and Dan Woodworth. To kick off proceedings tonight, I'm pleased to introduce Athletic Director Angela Fantasia for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Dan. Many people have played a role in making this night a reality, and I'd like to thank some of these people as we get started tonight. First and foremost, I want to thank the members of the Hall of Fame Committee. While there is an anonymous final selection group, the Hall of Fame Committee is instrumental in reviewing bylaws, creating timelines, and creating screening procedures. They've been working for 2 years to bring us to this point. So I want to thank them and recognize them just for a moment. Those members are Don Woodworth, Barry Chulgin, Mim Ryan, Kevin Fitzgerald, Tim Brown, Diane Nye, John Vaccarezza, and Robert Lang. Thank you very much for doing what you do. I'd also like to thank Superintendent Justin Krieger, the school board, and the SAU personnel for all their support over the years. And a special thank you to Dean Zanello, who's here tonight providing our technology and his support. Dean does anything and everything for the athletic department and the district, so we are grateful to Dean. Thank you to Vivian Lucas for selling tickets in the front office for this event. Thank you to Patty Mangini, who does anything and everything that we ask behind the scenes. Patty shows up here today and is instrumental again. So Patty, we really appreciate everything you do for us. And finally, a major thank you to Athletic Department Administrative Assistant Jessica Susi. Many of you have spoken to Jessica in the last weeks, emailed Jessica. This is all Jessica, trust me. It is not anything with Angelo Fantasia. But again, coordinating the event, communicating with the inductees, communicating with the public at Atkinson Country Club. She just does anything and everything and just makes us all better. So thank you, Jessica, for everything you do. And I would like to congratulate all of the inductees. This one's pretty special. I've had the pleasure of watching, Nick Lawrence compete and succeed in multiple sports for multiple years. Saw Taylor Hogan standing on the diving platform at UNH, winning her medals and smiling, just incredible. I've had the opportunity and the absolute pleasure of working with Mim Ryan for so many years and observing just how incredible she is as a coach, as a teacher, as a role model. And I can remember one day sitting in the cafeteria listening to her talk to her team in a breakup dinner. And I swear to God, I think every one of us would have run through the wall for Coach Ryan right after that. And players that are here know what that means, but just incredible. And I do have to tell you that I did not have the opportunity to see Jessica because she was here before me. But I'm going to tell you, Jessica, that I feel like I was here because listening to the discussions, Don Woodworth is literally raising his hand right now, because the discussions that we've had, the accolades that I was reading, the research that we did, you are clearly Hall of Fame candidate, Hall of Fame inductee, and also getting to know that you are clearly a Hall of Fame person. So I'm really, really proud to be here for this. Again, this is a great night. Like I tell people, it's a great night for you and your families. It's a great night for the community and the athletic department. And I was saying to John Vaccarezza, our principal, who I'm going to introduce up here in a second, what makes this night is watching all of you when you get here and you're smiling with each other and hugging each other and seeing people that you may not have seen for a while. That's what makes Timberlane so special. And I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm so proud of all of you. And, so thank you, and enjoy your night. I'm going to ask Principal John Vaccarezza to come up and say a few words before we have our dinner. So thank you.
So I'm here to talk to you guys about 5 important people that I don't know. I have no clue. And that's kind of an interesting, difficult thing, but because of my position, I have to do that tonight. So instead of talking about them, I'm just going to talk about me. And I'm going to start very simply is as I walk the halls down to Timberlane in the past 4 years as the principal, I've had the opportunity to walk by the Hall of Fame, the plaques and everything. And this past month, I had to walk by with my daughter. She's 10 years old. And she said, "Daddy, who are these people?" I said, "Well, they're all different individuals in the Athletic Hall of Fame." She says, "Oh, good. Can you get me in?" And I said, "I'm only a principal. I don't have that ability to do that." And I'm like, "How do you get in?" And I said, "Well, there's a committee and a nomination. It's this big deal, and only the best of the best get in." And she said, what's going on?" And I said, "Well, today I'm going to be going and at the Hall of Fame." And she said, "Well, what did this person do?" And I said, "Well, basically, she ran harder, faster, and further than anybody before. And she was recognized all across the area, and she pushed people to do better." And she said, "That's a Hall of Famer." And then she said, "Well, what about this one?" And I said, "Well, she swam faster, further than you could imagine. She inspired people, held records beyond what you could believe. And all the while, she was inspiration for both her school, her teammates, and everyone around, for really the state." She's like, "That's a Hall of Famer." And then she said, "Well, what about these guys? They look similar." I said, "That's good." And I said, "Well, they were able to fight on the mat, work on the field, be leaders. They became captains." She said, "Both of them?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "That's pretty good that they both got it." That's a Hall of Famer. And then she turned and she said, "Well, what about this one?" And I said, "Well, she was a coach." She's like, "A coach got in the Hall of Fame?" I said, "Yeah, a coach got in the Hall of Fame." She said, "Well, what's so special?" And I said, "Well, the coach, she got people to be the best. She inspired them. She believed in kids more than they believed in themselves that they could achieve further, more. And because of that, they did. And she said, well, that's a Hall of Famer. So guys, I don't know any of you. All I can say is thank you for inspiring and continuing to do that. Your achievements go beyond the fields, play, and what you have done with the students. From my family, thank you.
From the Timberlane Regional High School graduating class of 2003 and the Boston College graduating class of 2007, this athlete would go on to become one of the most decorated runners to ever don the maroon and white, while also being named salutatorian of her class for finishing with the second highest GPA. A 4-year member of the cross-country, indoor track and field, and outdoor track and field teams, this athlete rewrote the Timberlane record books during her time as an owl while competing at a high level during all 3 seasons. In cross-country, she was named both the Eagle Tribune All-Star and New Hampshire All-State Team twice. She was the runner-up at both the Class L Championships and the Meet of Champions and capped her senior season off with a 13th place finish at the New England Meet, earning her All-New England honors. In indoor track and field, she was again a 2-time Eagle Tribune All-Star. During her senior year, she set 6 different school records in distances ranging from 600 to 1,600 meters and was the first female runner to break the 5-minute mile mark in Timberlane history. She won the Class L Championship in the 1,500 meter while setting a state record that stayed intact for over a decade, and at New England, she finished runner-up in the 1,600 meter. At the 2003 National Scholastic Indoor Championship, she finished 6th place in the mile, earning her All-American status. In outdoor track and field, she set 4 more school records in distances ranging from 800 to 3,200 meters. She finished top 3 at both Class L and Meet of Champions in the 1,600 meter during each of her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons, and was top 2 at both meets in the 3,200 during her junior and senior seasons. Her senior year, she was the Class L champion both events and capped it off with a Meet of Champions title in the 3,200. The Eagle Tribune named her the Runner of the Year in 2003. Her accolades earned her a full scholarship to Boston College, where she would compete in all 3 seasons and qualify for the 2006 NCAA Division I Cross Country Championships, as well as the 2007 NCAA Division I Track and Field Championships, where she competed in the 1,500. On behalf of the Timberlane Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, Athletic Director Angelo Fantasia, and the entire Timberlane community, I'd like to officially welcome 2024 Timberlane Regional High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Jessica Flinn Weber.
Danny didn't get me a stool, but that's okay. Hopefully you can see my face. Congratulations to thanks Colin. Congratulations to my fellow inductees. Thank you to Mark Bean and Don Woodworth for nominating me multiple times. Thank you to the selection committee. It is an honor to join Lauren Sickle and Jess Segura as the 3rd member of the class of 2003 in the Hall of Fame. That's right, Charlotte, all females, pretty cool, huh? It is great to join my brother Robert and have the Flinns join the Sickles, Tardifs, Kimballs, Kirsches, and now Lawrences with siblings in the Hall of Fame. This really is a dream come true. I have clear memories of stretching before practice in the hallway outside the gym and staring up at the plaques. There were a lot of wrestlers, a lot of black and white photos. But I remember thinking, I want to be there someday. What do I need to do? Thank you to my parents for their unwavering support throughout my athletic career. Thank you for driving me up to northern Vermont for summer running camp every year. Thank you for letting me focus on academics and athletics and not making me get a high school job. Mom, thank you for driving me everywhere and for driving alongside me on hot summer days when I waited for the sun to set to run. She would drive along with the high beams on, because there are no lights in Sandown, and roll down the windows and blast music to keep me motivated. Mom, thank you for keeping me company while I pool ran. For those that don't know, it's basically treading water in running form for 30, 45 minutes. And thank you for measuring all of my running routes and being patient with me when I insisted on getting out of the car to run a few more tenths of a mile to make sure I met my mileage goal for the week. Dad, thank you for getting me into running. You drove me nuts when we first started, and you would run up the hill backwards in front of me and ask why I was breathing heavily. But those are also some of my favorite memories. Thank you for cycling alongside me when I finally got faster than you. And thank you for never missing a big race, even with your crazy travel schedule. Thank you for running around Derry Field and making sure that I could see you multiple times on the course. To my brothers, Robert and Colin, thank you for coming to all of my races, whether you wanted to or not. Robert, thank you for burning my warm-up CD. It was amazing. Thank you to Tom LeVay for turning me into a distance runner in middle school. Believe it or not, I really wanted to be a 100-meter hurdler. That didn't work out. Speaking of middle school, thank you to the boys that I tried to keep up with during the weekly hill runs. I would not be here today if it wasn't for the best coach I ever had, Mark Bean. Thank you. I could go on forever. I won't go on forever, but I'm going to say a lot. Mark, thank you for joining me on so many training runs. Thank you for your index cards at the start of each season with the easy, realistic, and reach goals. They meant so much to me. They motivated me, and they showed me that you had confidence that I could achieve the goals. The ice cream at the end of the season for meeting the goals was a nice touch. Thank you for taking me to Derry Field to go over those benches and up the hills over and over and over again until they no longer terrified me. Thank you for listening to me talk non-stop on our runs. You probably learned way more about my social life and what I was learning in school than you ever wanted to know. Thank you for introducing me to the book Once a Runner. I read passages from it before big races throughout high school and college. And thanks to owning that book, it led to one of my first dates with my now husband, Eric. Thank you for exposing me to the world of elite running and teaching me to train smart. Looking back at it, it's truly incredible that I never once had a running injury in high school or college, and that's because of what you taught me. Thank you for motivating me, encouraging me, and supporting me through the good and the bad. Thank you to Dawson, Woody, and Mark for keeping track of the school records and making sure I knew what to shoot for. I'd also like to thank the great Timberlane female runners that came before me and inspired me, Kristen Cobb, Angela and Melanie Vanderhoof, and Lisa Wynn. Thank you to my male teammates who put up with me running with them, especially Weston Forsblad and Mike Grossi. Running has brought me tremendous joy. There is nothing like the feeling of getting a new personal record and knowing that all your hard work was worth it. To all of my family here, the Flinns and the Webbers, thank you for your unending support. To my children, Charlotte and Christopher, I hope that you continue to love sports and know that I will always be your #1 fan. All right, tied with Dad. My goal is to provide you with the same amazing support that I received. Timberlane Athletics, thanks for the memories and this honor.
Spent a lot of these Hall of Fame things lowering the mic back down after some pretty impressively tall athletes have spoken, but that was nice to be able to move in the other direction. So thank you, Jess. I appreciate it. All right. From the Timberlane Regional High School graduating class of 2011, the two-sport athlete left a lasting legacy on both the football field and wrestling mat during his time as an Owl between 2008 and 2011. On the football field, he was a 2-year varsity letterman who started at quarterback and was named to the 2010 Division II All-State team during his senior year, which he was team captain. But it was on the wrestling mat that he made his greatest impact. As a sophomore during his first varsity wrestling season, he compiled 27 wins on his way to a Division I finals and a top 3 All-State finish, qualifying him for the New England tournament. Junior year, he asserted himself as one of the premier upperweights in the state with a 38-8 record, a Lowell Holiday Finals appearance, a Division I title, and a runner-up finish in the Meet of Champions. His senior year was spectacular and started with a 6th place finish at the Beast of the East in Delaware, considered one of the toughest tournaments in the country. From there, he captured individual titles at the Lowell Holiday, the Redskin Classic, and the Timberlane Invitational. He ended his senior year with championship victories in the Division I states, the Meet of Champions, and he became just the 12th wrestler in program history to win a New England title. During his 4-year career, the team was 4-time Division I champions, 4-time Meet of Champions champions, and unbelievably 4-time New England champions as part of an eventual 5 straight titles that is unmatched in New England history. In all, he amassed 116 career wins. He attended Iowa Lakes after high school and was named to the All-Academic team in 2012 and 2013 while also qualifying for the national tournament. He also returned to Timberlane Wrestling Program as a volunteer assistant, helped the Timberlane alumni train and qualify for Special Olympics and weightlifting in 2017. On behalf of the Timberlane Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, Athletic Director Angela Fantasia, and the entire Timberlane community, I'd like to officially welcome 2024 Timberlane Regional High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Nate Lawrence.
How's everybody doing? Just so everyone knows, I did not win the Redskin Classic. I actually lost in the finals. So, just so you know, I had to get that out there. I have to do. I'm not that good at this whole public speaking thing. Believe it or not, I bet my coaches are going to sit there and be like, yeah, right, good one, because they couldn't get me to shut up at all, but here we go. Firstly, I'd like to take the time to congratulate all the other inductees in this year's 2024 Hall of Fame ceremony. So congratulations to all you guys. I come here tonight humbled to be a part of a tradition and a group of athletes who came before me. Thank you to the athletic committee for recognizing my accomplishments as a Timberlane athlete. There is no way I would be standing here where I am today without the supporting cast I was so blessed to have over my high school career. To my coaching, both on the mat and on the football field, thank you for allowing me to set my own standard and holding me accountable to it. Thank you for pushing me on the days that I felt I couldn't push myself. Thank you for believing in me as an individual as well as a leader. I have learned lessons through my high school career that I still use today and will cherish forever. I'm going to tell a little story about one of my coaches, Coach Dan Donovan. My senior year, before the wrestling season started, he called me out of the hallway and into his office, and he asked me what I was trying to accomplish my senior year. And I told him everything, but he asked me if I had it written down, and I said no, and he says it doesn't count, right? So I wrote everything down. He pushed me to write these things down, hang that piece of paper on my wall, and look at that list every day. And I did. Did I hit every single milestone? Not by the end of the year, no. But I knew what I needed to do every day when I got out of bed. It's called daily preparation. Don't ever lose sight of your goals. If Coach was here, I'd tell him I'm running my own business now, and I'm using that same thing today, running my business. And I write those things down. It's very important. Sports are important, not for the trophies nor the recognition, but because it gives us the opportunity to develop core values through discipline, responsibility, accountability, and much more. At the end of all, through hundreds of team practices, extra workouts, blood, sweat, and tears, you open your eyes to see teammates becoming coaches, teachers, mentors, mothers, fathers, as they use the small skill sets they learned earlier on in their upbringing. Sports are important. Lastly, and certainly what I find the most important aspect of life is family. To my family, I don't think I could truly muster up the right words that could express my love and appreciation I have for all of you. The sacrifices that were made in order for Nick and I to travel around the country to compete. The ceremony isn't just for the athletes that are here tonight. The ceremony is for all of us and our families because one way or another, everyone played their part. Congratulations.
When Nate won his New England title, he was a little lost at what to do next, so I just told him to go hug his mom. So maybe he should just do that. Nate was a New England champion about 5 minutes before his brother, and now he's a Hall of Famer a few minutes before his brother. Alphabetic order helps him in this case. From the Timberlane Regional High School graduating class of 2011, this two-sport athlete starred on the gridiron while also completing one of the greatest all-time wrestling careers in school history. As a football player, he was a two-time letterman and starter for the Owls, featuring mainly at running back, where he amassed a career total of over 1,400 yards, including 20 touchdowns his senior year. During a game against Winnicott, he rushed for 332 yards in a single game, good for second all-time in Timberlane football history. For his efforts, he was named to the Eagle Tribune All-Star team, given Division II first-team honors, and named to the Shrine Bowl, at which he scored 2 more touchdowns to cap off his Timberlane athletic career. On the wrestling mat, Nick found his way into the starting lineup as a freshman and upset the heavily favored Concord opponent in the Division I finals to become just the 8th Timberlane freshman to ever capture the division or class state title. This was just the beginning. 3 years later, he became just the 5th Owl to become a 4-time division or class state champ. His success didn't end there, as he placed at the Beast of the East in Delaware 2 times, captured multiple Low Holiday championships, was a 3-time Meet of Champions finalist, a 2-time champion, and placed at the New England tournament twice, including becoming the 13th New England champion in program history. His win total of 158 wins is good for 5th all-time in program history, and at Senior Nationals, he capped it all off with a 7th place finish to become just the 8th All-American wrestler from Timberlane. He was named Eagle Tribune MVP his senior year, his 3rd time as an Eagle Tribune All-Star. During his 4-year career, the team was 4-time Division I champs, 4-time Meet of Champions champs, and unbelievably, 4-time New England champs. After high school, he attended Iowa Lakes, where he became an NJCAA All-American in 2013. On behalf of the Timberlane Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, Athletic Director Angela Fantasia, and the entire Timberlane community, I'd like to officially welcome 2024 Timberlane Regional High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Nick Lawrence.
You know, I've been competing with my brother for as long as I can remember, and I'm still competing with him, and I'm going to try and do a better speech than him. So we'll see. We'll see. Firstly, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the Induction Committee and everyone who played a role in organizing this incredible evening and recognizing the hard work and dedication that myself and the other inductees poured into our respective sports. I am particularly grateful to my teammates, whose support and relentless drive were essential to my success as a high school athlete. Without their daily encouragement and the camaraderie we shared in practices and competitions, this achievement would not have been possible. I'm talking to you, big guy. A heartfelt thanks to Coach Chu, Coach Donovan, Coach Brown, Coach Fitz, and Coach Pasquini, and most importantly, Coach Don Woodworth for keeping us out of trouble. I know we were a bunch of poop heads, in school, but we'll thanks to you for keeping us out of trouble and letting us compete every weekend. And all the other coaches who dedicated their time and energy, not just to developing me as an athlete, but also to preparing me for life beyond sports. To my brother Nate, I owe a special thanks. Our constant competitive battles made this achievement possible, and I think we can finally settle the most asked question in high school. Who would win in a wrestling match? The answer is, I think it would be a draw. We're both too skilled for a clear victor. I also want to acknowledge my parents and thank them for their unwavering support and sacrifices, ensuring I could attend every practice and every game. Your dedication was the foundation of my success, and I can't thank you enough for giving us the opportunities and the tools we needed to excel. To my siblings, Amber and Jordan, thank you for your support through both the highs and the lows, and for being a crucial part of my fan club. To my grandparents for always showing up to all our sporting events. You guys were definitely a big part of our fan club also. A special shout out to the man behind the mic, Mr. Daniel Woodworth, for sharing Arnold Palmer's with me. I'm convinced that those moments contributed to my victories at the Timberlane Invite and the state tournament. Timberlane has been a breeding ground for exceptional athletes, and it is a true honor to be recognized alongside them. Thank you all for being a part of this journey with me. Lastly, I would like to dedicate this Hall of Fame induction to my late friend and brother, Alex Smith. It's been 5 years, and not a day goes by that he has not missed. Alex was a loyal friend who was always there for me, and his support and presence will never be forgotten. This honor is a testament to his enduring impact in my life. Thank you.
Nick is definitely right. They would have had a draw, but that's because it most certainly would have been a double disqualification. From the Timberlane Regional High School class of 2017 and the Xavier University class of 2021, this inductee compiled one of the most remarkable swimming careers in state history from the years of 2014 through 2017. Over the course of her 3 varsity seasons of competition, she would break 9 different school records, including 3 relays in the 200-meter medley relay, the 200-meter freestyle relay, and the 400-meter freestyle relay, as well as 6 individual records, including the 200-meter freestyle, the 200-meter individual medley, the 100-meter butterfly, 100-meter freestyle, 500-meter freestyle, and the 100-meter backstroke. Most notably, during her senior year, she broke the state record in the 100-meter butterfly that had been set by U.S. Olympian Jenny Thompson back in 1990 and stood for nearly 30 years. She was a 2-time state champion in both the 100-meter backstroke and butterfly, and a 3-time Eagle Tribune All-Star, including being selected as Eagle Tribune MVP in 2017, her senior year. At the University of Xavier, she was a 4-year member of the Big East All-Academic Team and a Big East champion in 2020 in the 200-meter butterfly. In that event, she became the school record holder. On behalf of the Timberlane Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, Athletic Director Angelo Fantasia, and the entire Timberlane community, I'd like to officially welcome 2024 Timberlane Regional High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Taylor Hogan.
Finally have a dress that has pockets, which is nice. I wanted to start off by saying thank you to everybody who was able to make it here tonight, and congratulations to my fellow inductees. It feels really special for me to be a swimmer that's inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't think the average person really understands the amount of commitment that the sport of swimming takes. During my high school swimming career, I would be swimming 3 times a day, going to school after 5 a.m. practice in December with frozen hair because I was swimming before school. And it was quite a sight to see. Although the physical demands of swimming were so intense, I got to experience some of the biggest highs of my life. One of my favorite memories I want to shout out because he's here tonight. Mr. Boucher was my math teacher when I broke the Olympians record, and I walked into school the next Monday and he had my time written on the board for everybody to see. And it was like the most special moment of my high school career, and I really have him to thank for that. As a lot of you know, swimming was quite a family affair for the Hogans. I had the privilege of being able to swim alongside my sister Emily for 2 years, and swimming together in all those relays and being able to sing on the bus was some of the memories that I'll cherish forever. And it was so much fun. And we will also be, even though we didn't always get along, there was one thing that we could always get along with, and that was making fun of our mom, who was also our coach. Being coached by my mom was so special, and I loved the time that I was able to spend with her. Looking back, I wish I could relive some of these memories that we spent together and all that time. Both my mom and my dad were so insanely supportive of my swimming career. They drove me to practices, they drove me to meets that were not always the most local, and they really pushed me when I needed it, and they knew when they needed to just be my parents too, and I have them to thank for so much of my success, both as an athlete and just as the person that I am today. The family affair did not end there. Coach Stacy, even though you weren't part of our family by blood, you are a big part of my family too. Your love and your spirit for swimming was infectious, and the amount of laughs and memories that we shared will be things that I always remember. It was so much fun being there with you. As I finish up, I'm sure my brother, who's not here tonight, would be pretty offended if I didn't mention him too. Ryan was not somebody that I was able to swim in high school with because he's younger than me, but we spent the majority of our time together in the pool. And I have the sport of swimming to thank for how close him and I are in our friendships and so many things that we've been able to relate to over the years, and I really loved swimming with him too. Thank you to my aunt and my grandparents for your never-ending support. There were never meets that you guys didn't make it to, and you were always there to support me. And thank you to my friends and my teachers, and for always sticking by me, even though I consistently had wet hair and I reeked of chlorine. So thank you all.
Rumor has it, Mim gave a very strict deadline to the night to Angelo, so how are we doing tonight? All right, good. Longtime Timberlane Regional High School phys ed teacher and head field hockey coach, this inductee helped the Timberlane field hockey team become the most successful female sport in Timberlane history during her 17 years coaching the Owls from 2000 to 2017. She arrived at Timberlane in 2000 with a high pedigree of success after having captured the 1990 state championship with neighboring Sanborn High School, the program's only state title. Over the course of the next 18 years, the Owls would qualify for the state tournament, and every year she was a part of the program. In the early years, she established a high level of success with appearances in the Class L state championship game in 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2007. In 2009, after all those close calls, she helped guide the Owls to an undefeated regular season that culminated in the first state championship in program history. In 2016, she again brought the Owls to the top with a remarkable run that included upset wins over the number 3 seed, number 2 seed, and the number 1 seed in the state championship. A year later, her team won a second straight championship to send her into retirement in style. Altogether, she accumulated 302 wins between Sanborn and Timberlane, good for 5th all-time in New Hampshire state history. She coached 8 different class or division MVPs, 5 members of the Eagle Tribune All-Century team, and 4 athletes that have been inducted in the Timberlane Athletic Hall of Fame over the past 3 induction ceremonies. Not to mention the 2009 team that went into the Hall of Fame in 2022. In addition to her win total standing, she is 8th all-time in state field hockey history in state championships and 7th all-time in finals appearances. She was a 2002 Newburyport Wall of Fame inductee, a 2007 New Hampshire Coaches Association Hall of Fame inductee, 2010 New Agenda Northeast Women's Sports Organization Hall of Fame inductee, and most recently, a 2023 NHIAA Hall of Fame inductee. Most importantly, Coach was a constant advocate and supporter of all her students and athletes and instilled qualities in her athletes that went far beyond the field hockey field. Her personal motto, win with humility, lose with character, and do both with dignity, lives on in all her athletes. On behalf of the Timberlane Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, Athletic Director Angelo Fantasia, and the entire Timberlane community, I'd like to officially welcome 2024 Timberlane Regional High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Mim Ryan.
Good evening. I'd like to first extend a heartfelt thank you to my family, friends, and colleagues for attending tonight. I'm grateful to the Hall of Fame Committee for this wonderful recognition, and a special shout out to Sandy Cannon and Mark Pasquini for your efforts in putting my nomination together. Much appreciated. Congrats to Jess, Taylor, Nick, and Nate. Your dedication and hard work resulted in numerous athletic accomplishments, accolades, and ultimate Hall of Fame status. Well done. I am most thankful to be included in the 2024 class, but if you had said to me back in 1984 that one day you'll be in the Timberlane Hall of Fame, I would have responded, hell no. Why?
After graduating from Newport High School, I went to UNH majoring in physical education. My first job happened to be 8 miles down 125 at Sanborn. I was familiar with New Hampshire high school athletics because I coached basketball and softball at St. Thomas Aquinas my junior and senior years in college. And I went to all of the NHIA basketball tournament games at Lightholm Gymnasium. Ironically, watching the Timberlane boys team play in the finals in 1980, 81, and 82 with Bucky coaching. So on to my first field hockey game versus Timberlane, I witnessed firsthand the rivalry and the intense competitive contest which took place across the board in all sports. Basically, a large part of your season's success was based upon the game's outcome. Just a few years into my tenure at Sanborn, our booster club wanted to have a homecoming weekend, AKA Indian Festival, which would include class competitions, floats, bonfire, a parade, and finished with field hockey and soccer games and a cross-country meet. Our opponent, Timberlane. Some of my memories of those games at Indian Festival. Arriving at the field to find a "Who's Your Daddy" sign in our cage. This happened a few times, and though my kids wanted to return the sentiment, they were told, "Don't you dare." I encouraged them to use it as extra motivation, which we did. But I did further fuel that motivation by cutting out owls and having each player put them in their cleats, and we would stomp our feet. Subtle, but effective. Friday afternoon games at Timberlane. Always a Friday. I swear Bucky did that on purpose. And having members of the football team on the end line, encouraging their team, but not so much mine. Woody was coaching the cross-country team. He got off the bus one year wearing a cowboy hat and a red bandana, and his runners too wore hats and chaps. And regardless of where the game was played, it was always enjoyable watching Patty Conley disagree with every call the official made. The ref would speak to her, and I'd just stand there shaking my head, and as the ref would pass by, I'd make eye contact and quietly say, "Sorry." Always a positive to sympathize with the officials. Never know when a call might go your way. I could continue, but you get the point. So I never would have imagined crossing that Kingston-Plastow line, but as the saying goes, never say never. I was fortunate to know Timberlane's principal at the time, Les Murray. He reached out and he said he had an opening and would love for me to come down. I applied, interviewed, and the final step was a meeting at the SAU with Assistant Superintendent Mark Masterson. After a nice conversation, the topic of salary and step was brought up. He was hesitant to make an offer because I was an experienced educator, but I reassured him it would be the best $38,000 a school district ever spent. Sorry, Tom Brady, I said it first. I would later share this story with my mother, and she was like, "Mimi, you didn't." I did. So that fall, I added 5 minutes onto my commute, crossed the town line, and couldn't have been happier with my decision. On the first day for teachers, I was warmly greeted in the cafeteria by Coach Paraso. I'm sitting at a table by myself, and this man comes up, sticks his hand out, and says, "I'm Mike Paraso, but people call me Coach. You must be the new gal. We have a great department in school here. The kids are good. Bucky is great to work for. He leaves us alone and lets us do our own thing. And the admin stays up front and doesn't bother us." I'm like, wow, this is sweet. But honestly, what I did find was a school and athletic program no different than Sanborn. There were dedicated, determined coaches who wanted the best for their players and shared a common goal of developing character, integrity, and the benefits of hard work and perseverance. The athletes took pride in wearing the Timberlane uniform, and their spirit was infectious. My children came to Timberlane as well, which allowed me the opportunity to coach my daughter, Gina, and to keep an eye on Jared, while also following him on the football field, ice rink, and tennis courts. Over the course of my career, I've tried to encourage my players to persevere, believe in themselves, and strive to be the best teammate in person while embracing the many life lessons athletics offer. I had a wonderful time going down memory lane by looking through my notebooks from each season, the cards, articles, and pictures, reliving the highs and lows, and recalling the tears and joys of laughter like it was yesterday. I could vividly recall moments in games and the looks on my players' faces and got goosebumps. I've known all along how lucky I was to have had great student athletes, parents, ADs, and a coaching staff who had played a larger role than me in the successes we enjoyed. The camaraderie we all shared as an athletic staff. Fitz, Mark, Brownie, Chu, Bowman, Blaska, Katie, Deni, and others, we could rely on one another for open and honest feedback and support. This bond remains steadfast to this day. To the coaches who have helped me help better the program each year, including former players who volunteered, I am eternally grateful for the time you gave, showing the players how much you care about their growth and the program. Sandy Cannon, Heather Roy, Annie Hansberry, Renee Clavette, M. Cannon, Kerry, Hannah, Jessie, Kai, Dottie, T, and Sarah. To name just a few, there are many more. All have become more than just a coaching staff. We became trusted friends and confidants. There are no words to describe the impact they had on our program and me as a coach. 3 state titles, 4 runners-up, the relationships formed, and experiences and memories shared. I am blessed to have had 17 years at Timberlane Regional High School. To quote J.M. Lawrence, it's not what we have in our life, but who we have in our life that counts. Again, thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee for this honor, and to all the members of the Timberlane family for being a part of my life.
Okay, first of all, again, congratulations to all of the inductees. Your accomplishments, as we all heard, are just amazing. You belong in this Hall of Fame. We are happy to have you in this Hall of Fame. And it's pretty cool that I'm about to say our next ceremony will take place in 2026. I can't believe that, and we will look for another great evening together. Before we wrap up, I know that Jess will yell at me if I don't do this, so I'm going to do this right now. A reminder to our inductees that our plan is to recognize you at tomorrow night's football game at halftime. If you would come down and meet me at the track, you all know where it is. Meet me at the track, about 2 or 3 minutes left in the half. I will be right on the home side, and we're going to take you out and recognize you in front of our community. And I know that everyone is looking forward to doing that. Also, before you leave, because I'll get yelled at again, make sure that our inductees, if you wouldn't mind just coming to the front, because we're going to take some photos. Dean Zanella is going to take some photos of all of you. We'll put them on the website and we'll send them to the newspapers. And Jess, not I, will put them on X or whatever else you call that stuff, because I have no idea. I did want to just say, just quickly before we wrap up, all I kept hearing tonight, and I've said this many times, is family. All of you, thanking your families, which is so beautiful. All right, the sibling rivalry of the Lawrence boys. I thought we were going to clear the tables here for a second. We're not going to do that. But again, when I talk to people that are coming, young people, young families coming to Timberlane, that's the word I use all the time. Family. This is a place where you are always welcome. This is a place we always want to know about what you're doing. We are a family. So again, congratulations. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you again to everyone. And inductees, make sure you don't leave till you come down here. I'm going to get yelled at. Okay? Have a great, great night. Thank you.